Awesome. So thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. I know we're supposed to be talking about smart plans, and I understand the power of smart plans. Let me give you guys a little bit of background about me. Besides being an operating principal here in Northern New Jersey, I run a small team. We have about 4 or 5 people on the team, full-time admin. We do about 25 million this year. And if we don't, someone's going to be hurt. Let's see, what else can I tell you? My prior getting into real estate was in the technology industry. I spent 10 years in high tech, including the last piece of software I sold was artificial intelligence software, which we didn't know what artificial intelligence was in 2002, but I was selling that to large corporations. In fact, Unisys and Bluebell was one of my biggest clients at the time. So that's how I got into real estate, and have leveraged technology my whole career, built websites, generate leads, et cetera, in my career. But today we're talking about Command. I'm also the regional technology director for the New York tri-state region in Northern Jersey and Manhattan. But I want to ask you guys some questions, and feel free to put in the chat. How are you guys selling Command to your clients? Do you talk to them at all about Command and how it's going to help them with their home sale?
I know I don't. I am still kind of a work in progress when it comes to Command, which I know is something I need to take more advantage of. I don't know if anyone else wants to share.
Feel free to unmute yourself or put in the chat. I don't share it. It's frustrating to me, etc.
Someone said, I don't tell my clients about it.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. Anybody else? You don't tell your clients about it. Here's where I think we fail in technology and technology training. And full disclosure, I've said this to many people before, so this is nothing new. We spend so much time going over and over and over again, click here, click here, click here, click here. And we all have different technological levels and abilities. Would you agree? Right. That's awesome. Great. Thank you. We also know that most of our cell phones are more powerful than the first rocket that went to the moon. But we don't use our cell phone to make coffee, or we don't use our cell phone to take us to the moon every day. But it technically can do more than what our cell phones do, correct? All right, awesome. So rather than go through click here, click here, click here, I'm going to give you guys some scripts right now. And I think these scripts will get you some business. And I think if we started teaching you guys the scripts around Command that will get you a listing, then you'll be more willing to start using Command. How's that sound? Make sense? Awesome. Because when I started getting into Command 2 years ago, the first thing I did was not play with Command. I said, how am I going to pitch this to a client so that those scripts will be a benefit to my client? All right, so strap on tight real quick. Pretend you're a seller, and I'm going to give you my listing script. This is how I'm getting my listings now. I'm not going to people's homes. I'm doing listings over the phone in about 5 minutes or less. Okay, that's what I've been doing all COVID. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, thanks so much. When you hire me, I'm going to leverage Keller Williams Command's artificial intelligence engine and Facebook partnership to create 7 different multi-channel marketing campaigns so I can find buyers for your home on Facebook. Is any other realtor going to do that? Awesome. I'll send you the paperwork. We can get started getting your home sold. How do you feel about Command now? Feel a little different? Caleb gave me a thumbs up. Mel's nodding her head. Sue said in the chat so much. How do you feel now about Command if you use that script versus, oh my God, I got to use the system to get paid? Could you use that script to get a listing today? Does Command feel different?
I want to learn Command now.
Okay, so I think we have to start switching our brains around what is the benefit of this technology to our client, and not here, click here, click here, click here. Because once I came up with that script, I said to myself, oh my God, I have to now figure out how Command does that. It sounded really good, but now I had to go create my first campaign to generate buyer leads in Command. By the way, the client didn't care where the buyer came from. They just wanted to know that I was doing one thing different than every other realtor in my community. Does that make sense? And by the way,
that was so awesome. They're asking if you could repeat it one more time.
I will. I'll
You
do it
wanna
like
make
14
it
times
better.
because, and I also, if you, I have a way to share them later, so I can share them with Andrew and I have them written down so that way he can send them out. Okay. But I got to say it really fast for the pattern interrupter. So your brain goes, wait, what did he just say? Totally understand. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leverage the Keller Williams Command artificial intelligence engine and Facebook partnership to create 7 different multi-channel Facebook campaigns to find buyers for your home via Facebook. Is that okay with you? They kind of have to say yes to that, don't they? They've kind of never heard any other realtors say the words Facebook, artificial intelligence, and an algorithm when you had a conversation with a seller, have you? Congrats, you just won a listing in about 30 seconds. Well, because when your seller's speechless, you're going to win. Questions about that? Comments, stories, jokes, anecdotes, anything that'll make my day better. Is the class good so far? Should I stop right now? We're good. I can go about the rest of my day. All right, just check.
Just repeat it one more time.
No problem. No problem. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leverage the Keller Williams Command Facebook partnership. I'm going to leverage our artificial intelligence engine so I can create 7 different multi-channel marketing campaigns to find buyers for your home via Facebook. Is that okay with you? You really don't need to say anything else on your listing appointment, do you? Jamal's like, nope, I can say that over the phone. I'm good, right?
So what if they say, how are you going to do that?
Well, see, the beautiful thing is we have this amazing technology called Command, and we have a direct connection with Facebook embedded in our technology. So when I go in after I put your home on the market, I can create those campaigns in a few minutes and start finding buyers for you. In fact, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you've ever tried to run an ad on Facebook, you pretty much need an advanced degree in mathematics from MIT, but we've made it really, really easy with our partnership with them.
What if
So
your
Steven-
client's not savvy with like Facebook and they don't know what this would do for them? Like, what if they're older?
You have to just really go old school and say to them, look, 99% of the realtors out there are going to do Caleb the same thing. Put your home on the market, put in the MLS, do an open house this Sunday, pray to God there's a buyer, the market's hot, there's probably a buyer. The question is, are you marketing to the people who are your age, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or are you marketing to the people who are 35 years old who spend their life on Facebook? And by the way, I've never had to demo how I do it on a listing appointment in the past year because they don't care. They're hiring you to get it done for them. Correct? Just like the doctor explains to me how the surgery is going to go, but I'm not awake while the surgery is going on, so I can watch how it's done. Don't need to see it. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
You want me to repeat it one more time?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, please. One more time.
No problem. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leverage the Keller Williams Command artificial intelligence engine and Facebook partnership to create 7 different multi-channel marketing campaigns to find your buyer on Facebook. Is that okay with you? Great. I'll send you the listing paperwork and we'll start right now. There's not much more that you have to do at that point, right? 30-second listing presentation. And if they say, oh, anyone can put an ad on Facebook, say yes, but no one has the Facebook technology integrated into our technology. No broker has that. I've looked at all of our competition, so no one else has that. Caleb, go ahead.
So I saw on the regional tech, when we were going through all these, we had a day where he was, okay, well, he looked at everything, but he looked at the smart campaigns and some of the Facebook, they had prices next to them. Is it something we buy into, or like, how does that work?
How does the technology work to do that?
Or how do you get Facebook to do these ad campaigns? Do you have to pay?
Yeah, you pay for your ad.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I pay between $30 and $50 per campaign. And
Okay.
I take the same campaign and I duplicate it, and then I run different expert targets. for my campaigns. So on
Okay.
average, I spend between 200 to 250, maybe 300 per listing, sometimes up to 500, depending on the listing to generate those leads. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So that answers my
Now I'll
question.
give you the second listing script if you decide to go further. Okay.
Steve, could you say the part about KW Command, Facebook partnership, artificial intelligence again?
Sure. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leverage the Keller Williams Command, artificial intelligence engine, and Facebook partnership to create 7 different multi-channel marketing campaigns to find your buyer on Facebook. Is that okay with you?
Now I got it. Thank you.
And by the way, I'm going to email these to Andrew so he'll have them in a printed form and you can go over them and practice them. Okay.
That'd be great.
Sound good?
Thank you so much.
All right, now here's my second seller script. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leave your home tonight and send a message to my buyers in waiting program. These are buyers that have already been pre-approved for a loan. And I'm going to leverage Keller Williams Command System to send that email to that message to the buyers in waiting. By tomorrow morning, I'll probably have buyers waiting to buy your home. Is that okay with you? Does anybody know what technology I'm talking about in Command when I say that? It's just a mass text. That's it.
Smart plan.
Right. I'm just using the mass texting feature inside Command. So I'm literally taking a photo of their home, leaving with the listing paperwork, where my assistant goes over and takes a photo. She goes into our database and says, hot new home hitting the market tomorrow. Text us for details. Just so I could see in my database was where, how much, right? To see who's ready to buy it now. So can you imagine saying that to your buyer, to your seller, I mean? Now, how do you feel about Command? Feel a little different? Sound a little different? Can you pitch to Command now? See, you've never thought about going on a listing appointment and talking about the benefits of your technology. And if you don't leverage the technology, someone else will. Our competitors are doing it. That's why there's companies like Zillow Instant Offers that are buying homes from an algorithm. So if you can't talk the algorithm talk, you're going to lose to those real estate companies that can. Questions, comments, stories, jokes, feel free, fire away, because I've just, like, some of your brains are on like overload right now and I could stop the class, but I know there's a couple more hours to go. Andrew's like, no, don't stop, but yeah.
One question, just throwing those, words, algorithm and artificial intelligence is sufficient, or we really need to have some kind of deep knowledge into those kind of technologies also?
You don't have to have deep knowledge. The system does it for you. You just have to be able to use it. I've learned, I'm 50 years old. I've learned every time I say the words artificial intelligence, everyone below 40 thinks I'm smart for some reason. Kathleen liked that, but it's true, Kathleen. You ever say artificial intelligence to someone below 40, that you actually have artificial intelligence inside your technology, your kids will think you're brilliant. Right? Like, absolutely. Lana, like, you like that. It's true though, like, because they've never heard a realtor say the words artificial intelligence. Now here's your buyer script to use Command. Okay. This is why you got to come to the beginning of class, because all the good stuff comes in the beginning, right? Okay, ready? Thank you for that compliment, Deborah. I appreciate it. And I am 50 years old. I was born in 1970. Thank you. Okay, ready? This is what I say at open houses. This is what my team and I say at open houses. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, when you buy a home with us, I'm going to leverage Keller Williams Command artificial intelligence engine to do a home inspection analysis report. By the way, we're the only brokerage that has this technology embedded. So you can look at a ton of houses today, but we're the only ones that have AI to help you protect you on any home you buy with us. Is that okay with you? Andrew's like, heard these all before. This is like secondhand nature, but.
Are you talking about porch?
I'm talking about porch. Yep.
Yeah.
But Trudy, the difference is, if I was a buyer at an open house and I walked in and you said, oh yeah, I've got this way called porch to analyze your home inspection, just doesn't sound so good. If I said, hey, Trudy, nice to meet you. Thanks so much for coming. Feel free to look around. By the way, when you buy this home with us or any home with us, we have artificial intelligence to protect you with a home inspection analysis tool. By the way, no other realtor has that. So let me know what, how we can make this home process easier for you. The home hunting process or whatever, the home buying process. And they go, wait, what? You said artificial intelligence? I thought I was just buying a house today. Right? And automatically anyone below the age of 40 thinks like you are the realtor to hire. And who are buying most of the homes in the country right now? People below the age of 45, between 35 and 45. How you guys feeling right now? Should I just stop? Are we good?
So there's a few people that have not heard of Porch.
Okay. So do you guys know what I'm talking about and where that is in Command? All right, I'll show you guys real quick. I'll share my screen. So when you're in opportunities, over here on the left-hand side. Okay, and I apologize. Sometimes Command is a little wonky if they're doing some work behind the scenes. And I'm in an opportunity and I go into, let's say, a buyer opportunity. And I click on any buyer card, any contact card for a buyer opportunity. As you scroll down the details page, you should have this thing called repair estimate report. Okay. And literally when the home inspection report comes back, you literally get the report. It's a PDF, correct? We all get the PDF and I click get started, or my assistant does. And I literally come here and click get started again. And we upload the home inspection report. And in 48 hours, it comes back and it looks like this. This is a sample. But this is what the report looks like. It says, okay, there was a cracked rafter in the attic on page 30, and it's $393 to fix. And let's see, the garage door stripping was damaged on page 14. It's $127, etc. And the nice thing is in like New Jersey where I am, we have attorneys mostly. So I share the report with my client and the attorney. And then I go over to my client and I say, which of these items scare you the most that you want real estimates for? Which of these are just general maintenance things that don't matter? Okay. Claire, the number one question. Thank you for asking that question. The question she asked was, is that accurate? It's hyper-local data based on where you are. So the prices where you guys are in Philly are different than where I am in Northern New Jersey versus Alabama. It's hyper-local data. How do you think about that? Would your buyer
Amazing.
Would your buyer hire you for that? Did you guys know that was there? How do you feel about Command now?
From where this price tag is coming from? From some kind of local inbuilt database?
So the company we partnered with to do the analysis is a company called Porch, and they've scanned millions and millions of home inspection reports, and then also have local price metrics to come up with what the approximate cost is. And I make it really, really clear. Number one, this does not eliminate you going out and getting a true estimate. We still need to bring someone in the home, but which of these items really are big issues? Which of these items are not big issues, right? Which are the items that you really, really want to talk about that scare you? Which of these items are like minor, no big deal. But the fact that we can even do this, by the way, this is a recruiting tool. I was selling a home recently and the agent was really nervous over the home inspection for my buyer. And I said, oh, don't worry about it. We have this artificial intelligence that analyzes the home inspection report. So we'll know what the prices are before we even go get estimates. She goes, wait, you guys can do that? I said, wait, you don't have that at Coldwell Banker? You should go talk to my team leader. Well, now she's on my downline. Okay. If you don't have Porch, number one, Porch is free. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Number two, if you don't have Porch, I'm going to show you real quick how to add it to your system. Okay. If you don't have Porch in your system when you go there, come into the marketplace area up here, search for Porch and add it to Command. It's 100% free. I mean, this was supposed to be about smart plans, but I know this is the way we were going to go in the beginning. So how are we doing
Somebody
that?
had a
Ray?
question. Is it only available in the US or is it available to Canada as well?
It's available to Canada as well, from what I understand. Yeah. Yep. And it's free. Now, one thing you need to know too is, and I tell this to my clients, I remind them that we're going to do this home inspection analysis. The system emails them permission to analyze the home inspection report, so they have to authorize it. It's not on you, okay? So when you upload the report, it asks you for their buyer information. So it sends an email to your buyer saying, do you allow us to do it? That way you're covered legally, okay? So just remind you, so what I tell my buyer is, remember that home inspection analysis we were doing? I'm uploading the report now. It's going to send you an email to confirm. Please confirm so we can do the report. No one's ever said no, by the way. Yeah, I like the safety factor that, you know, it doesn't, they can't say you didn't do this without my approval.
Question, what about if you're with a seller? And you get a copy of the home inspection report? Can you do it as
You
well?
cannot, because it's not your report. Remember, it's going to ask for permission of whoever did the report. So if I go in and upload it, I'm a seller. Now, if the seller does their own home inspection before they put the home on the market, then you can do it. You just can't take the buyer's report and do it because you don't have the buyer's permission. Make sense?
Yeah.
Guys, you're going to laugh. I was in a situation where I had last summer, a home inspection report come back and the buyer asked for $5,000 credit. And we said, prove it to us, show us. And he refused to get estimates. And so I called the realtor. I said, you know, we have this really cool feature where you can analyze the home inspection report for your buyer. This is a Keller Williams agent in a different market center than mine. And she's like, my client refuses to do it. I'm like, what? Your client refuses to figure out what it costs? He'd rather just spit out a number of $5,000 and not back it up? I said, fine, no problem. I sent my contractor over. It was a $700 fix. We offered a $700 credit, and that was it. Like, you're an idiot. One, you didn't know how to pitch it to your buyer. And two, your buyer refused to do it when you spoke to your buyer about it. Like, you just cost your buyer potentially $3 or $4 grand. Right? Duh. I don't care. I'm on the seller side on that transaction. All right, what questions are in your brains right now? Or are we good? Tell me. Have you thought about Command differently now that you have scripts that actually help you make money from Command?
Definitely.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a different thought process when you can present the technology as a benefit to your client that helps you get a listing. How it gets done is the stuff we all get struggle and frustrated with. But being able to use it with a client to help you make money, that's a different. Now you want to use it, right? Now I'm like, wow, okay, now I have to figure out how to use it because I just got a listing from that. I'll do that all day long, by the way. That's why I say, and no offense to anyone on this call, we've been teaching technology wrong because anyone here take a class on how to use their iPhone? By the way, I've called Apple support, but I never took a class how to use my iPhone. So the challenge we all face is technology has to be simple enough for us to use. And I kind of view Command like my iPhone in that there's 5 icons I go in all day long on my iPhone. There's 5 icons in Command I go in all day long, right? Contacts, smart plans, opportunities, campaigns, and tasks. Well, on my iPhone, I go into my phone, my email, my text messaging, my social media, my banking app all day long. Any others? That's pretty much it. Maybe a game, right? So what my point is, in terms of teaching the technology, let's script more around it. Let's script around those features that give our client a massive benefit that no other brokerage can say. And then you win. Because when you're going up against a listing, the seller wants you to be 5,000% better than the others, and you sound like every other realtor out there. But if you use this script, you're not going to sound like every other realtor out there. Questions, comments, stories, jokes?
So we did have one. How can we use Command and smart plans with our sellers and buyers, checking off events as we go through the contract to close process.
Sure. So I'm going to actually redirect you to opportunities, because inside opportunities, you can add checklists that update your client. So I'll show you that real quick. And I'll also show you some smart plan stuff real quick. Okay. We're good.
Yeah.
Is this worth your half an hour so far? Just want to make sure. Okay. All right. So
We have our
let me
whole
go back.
day, Steve.
I'll go back into command real quick. Inside command, you have, and I'll stick in the opportunity section real quick. You have the ability to add different checklist items over here on the left-hand side. You see where it says 0 of 1, 1 of 1 completed. Okay. I'll show you my pre-listing one. Before I put a listing on the market, I have 25 things that I want to do. So you can update these checklists right here in the edit stages button. And you could add, for the pre-listing, there's 25 items, and I can just click the edit button here and change the name. But if I want to go in and click the 25 items, I can edit them all right in the checklist area. Okay. So all the stages are here, and you can change the order, etc. Now, once you move, put a contact in my system in the pre-listing stage, and you open this up, you can quickly choose client update. It'll send an email to your client when you finish that work. Wow, I saw Trudy's face, just like, oh, wow, oh my God, I did, right? You can also assign it to a team member to do. You can also assign a due date to it. So we have to do this activity by the 26th, and we have to update the client when we're done. Or we can remove the item or edit it or delete it, and then hide completed items as we go. So the contract to close process should all be done in opportunities, and everything should be in these checklists, and you can customize these to your heart's content. So when you move it to the next stage, you'll notice that it's 25. Live on market might only have 5. Negotiations will have 5. My under contract could have more, depending on, again, we have 10 of these when they're under contract of what needs to get done. Submit the green sheet, confirm their mortgage, etc. Okay. And you can add items or not, or you can do one-off items, or again, edit any of the stages and change them to your heart's content. How do you guys feel now? Is that good? And by the way, important safety tip, if you forget all this, you see this little guided tour button up here in purple? The guided tour will walk you through all this if you forget how to do any of this. Also, bookmark a website that's really going to be helpful. Answers.kw.com. If you got any question, you can get the answer right here. In fact, I'll tell you, full disclosure, 99% of the time when I get a technology question from someone in my region, I go to answers.kw.com, copy and paste the answer, and email it back to them. I don't even I'm like, here's the answer. I don't even know the answer, so I'll just go there and get the answer. Perry, did that answer your question? Yes, no, maybe so. I want to make sure I answered Perry's question. That's why I'm pausing for a sec. What other questions, guys? Cool. Thanks, Perry. I'm going to go in and show you smart plans in a second. What else? Does that help? Did you guys know that feature was there? What those numbers meant? Yeah. Command has so much, and in full disclosure, we rolled out too much, which made it unstable, which is why people got frustrated with it. Like in some market centers I talked to, command's a 4-letter word, right? However, the stuff I'm showing you is the stuff I run my business out of. I run my whole business out of command. Okay. And you can too, by the way. You can have a virtual assistant set those up for you. You can set them up yourself. All those stages are there for you to customize on how you run your business. including things like the probability a transaction is going to close when it gets to that stage. And that way you can track your income coming in. I think realtors are really bad at tracking our income. So I think that feature is a really cool feature. I spend 99% of my days in opportunities. Most people spend most of their days in their CRM, but I'll give you a for instance, and Andrew, role play with me. Andrew, pretend you're a potential seller, okay? So Andrew, I heard you're thinking of selling your home. When do you want to sell? A couple months from now?
At the latest, couple months.
Okay, so do you mind if we circle back with you? I don't want to pressure you now, but I want to circle back with you in a few weeks to tell you what to do to get the home ready. When do you think? You think you'll be ready in about 3 months?
3 months sounds good.
Great. The moment that happens with Andrew, you should be making an opportunity. What most people do is they go into the notes field and they say, great call with Andrew, need to call him in 3 months, and they put a task. What you should be doing, the way Gary Keller designed the system, was you should be creating an opportunity. And I'll go back into my stages. And if you'll see in the cultivate area, I have a 6 to 12 months, 3 to 6 months, and 1 to 3 months. I would put Andrew in the 1 to 3 month bucket so that I know to go in and call him, and I would attach a dollar amount to his potential house so I know how much money I'm leaving on the table if I don't call him. Get the difference? So when I coach people, the number one thing I say is how many opportunities are in your pipeline. Because if we forget, you're at that cocktail party, you had a phone call with someone, yeah, it's springtime, I'll be ready to move in May. Then Andrew becomes a 1 to 3 month opportunity. Different thought about this versus just getting paid? So leverage what's in here to make your life easier. How many of you guys are getting multiple offers like on every listing right now? Yes? A lot of you. Did you know you can enter the offers here and send your client a complete analysis of every offer? Like you can come in here, click offers and commissions, and literally press add new offer and list all your offers out and email your client a very nice summary. I'll show you what it looks like in real life. But if I had a listing that was getting multiple offers, this is my demo listing. Let's just say I had 3 offers on this home. Here are my 3 offers. I've entered them in. I'm going to click them all over here on the left. And you see here where it says compare offers lit up. Here they all are side by side. And now I can email an offer comparison with my branded logo, my header, all pre-formatted that goes right to my seller. And then we can have a conversation over which one they want. We have a lot in here, guys. And by the way, you're not seeing a demo version. You're seeing actually my real command. This is nothing that's like a demo version. Okay. Questions?
We did have a question from Tony. What checklist or smart plans do you put into opportunities on the leads in each one of your 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and
12.
6 to 12 months?
Great question. I don't put any checklists except remind me to call them every few weeks. And when you start your day by looking at your opportunities, it kicks off a message in your head. I need to call this person now. Right? And did you know in opportunities, there's a notes field? And inside opportunities, you should actually put your notes about the opportunity separate from your notes about the relationship that Andrew and I have. So me calling Andrew to check in and see how he's doing, you can say, oh, got a new job, got a dog, looking for a bigger home. The moment he says looking for a bigger home, opportunity is created, and everything we talk about around that opportunity has a separate notes related to that transaction. Okay. But I don't do anything special in terms of a checklist, except go into opportunities every day, see the notes of when I last called them, and then call them. So I literally spend my day in the opportunity section, because if you're doing it right, you should be in here, in that area, putting your notes in for that area. So if I'm in the cultivate stage, we don't have much in here, we just put a smart plan to nurture them, which is their monthly neighborhood or biweekly neighborhood nurture, and call to set up appointment to meet with them. But if I'm going deeper and I have a conversation with this person, I should be putting notes here for the opportunity and keep that separate from the relationship. And it date stamps it, puts my little photo, I look professional, all that good stuff. Yeah. So any notes related to the opportunity go here for my team. The personal notes about Andrew and my conversation is truly Andrew and I talking about it. Does that make sense? And now you're going to get into like really, powering yourself by opportunities. Because again, if I was coaching you, the first thing I would say is, hey, Andrew, how many opportunities do you have? Well, I spoke to John and John said he might be moving in 6 months. And I spoke to Mary and Mary said that she might want to buy next month. Okay, that's an opportunity. And that's how Gary built this around the MREA model. Okay. Questions so far? How are we doing? Haven't even touched smart plans yet, and I'm about to go into that, but how are we doing? Let's want a little temperature check. Are you guys overwhelmed yet? Do you need to take a break and run outside? Do you need water? Do you need more coffee? As you can tell, I've been up for a while, so I don't need to drink a lot of coffee. Thanks, Barbara. Appreciate that. I drink a lot of tea, decaf, if you can imagine. So I don't need more caffeine in my life. What else, guys? What questions do you have before I go into smart plans? Are you prepared to go take a listing with the system now? If you walk out of here with one thing and one thing only, which is I can now go get a listing and use that first script that I got, yeah, I'm good. I had a great day today. Like, we're good. Especially when you've got competition and they can't say that, right? That's reality. So, okay, let me go into smart plans real quick. So we're leveraging smart plans right now at a very, very high level, especially with open house follow-up. So what we're doing for open houses, just so you guys know, is we are creating a landing page in Command that we put a QR code out there where the consumer comes to the open house, scans the QR code, and then registers for the open house using our landing page, and that dumps into Command. When they leave the open house, we put them on an open house follow-up campaign. This is the most recent one we just did for our most recent open house, so that as they're walking back to their car, Command is sending them a text message thanking them for coming to the open house. Okay. So literally they're getting this text message from me as they leave the open house. Okay. Then they're also getting an email from me because I knew most people don't read emails till later. So I'm hitting them twice in 30 seconds. And then it literally waits 2 days. It puts a call on my buyer's agent's to-do list for my buyer's agent to call them. And then the system waits 3 days and sends the buyer another text message. And then the system waits 4 days and sends an email. And then it waits 3 days and sends another text we're calling them in between. And then at the very end, it sends them a smart plan, which is the monthly neighborhood nurture of the neighborhood they were looking for homes in. Okay, so again, open house sign-in sheet, completely digital, dumps into Command. We have this set up as what's called an auto trigger. An auto trigger is when we put this tag, fire the smart plan. So when they're leaving the open house, we put the tag on and we're off and running. Okay. Questions, comments, stories, jokes, anything?
Steve, a comment.
Yeah.
I'm over in Hudson Valley. It's Lorianne. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We've been having houses move so fast that I've noticed that the listing agents have been putting them on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Yep.
And literally in the agent remarks in the MLS, they're saying best and final on Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Like they're not even getting to that point where they can even, so I'm wondering if you're doing the open houses, if you should be setting that up in the email that it's best and final on Sunday, like by doing a Saturday or a Sunday open house. And
If you're doing that, if you want to do that with your client, yes. But if someone's really interested in the house, you need to be on top of them. I wouldn't let
Okay.
the smart plan do that for me. I'd be like calling them going, guys, we have till Sunday night at 6. You ready?
No, I'm talking more so when there's somebody else's client and another agent has sent them to your open house.
Oh, you can
Just to
put
make
that-
them aware. Are we allowed to do that?
You can, sure you can. That's your choice if you want to. Yeah, you're totally allowed to do that.
I mean, they're flying off the market. I mean, they're not even staying on the market 5 days. It's ridiculous.
No, I get that. Like in my town, we've lost almost 40% of our inventory in 6 months.
Unbelievable.
We had 101 homes for sale 6 months ago, and now I have 66 homes for sale.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay,
Yep.
good. Thank you.
No problem. What else? So Tony asked a question. I've done the landing page and customer sign up to the open house, but the system sends the same contact info. So what we do is we tag them. So I create a custom tag called 5 Jardine Open House that triggers this smart plan, so that smart plan fires off when they leave the open house. Does that answer your question, Tony? And by the way, guys,
Yeah.
when you're in a smart plan, do not try to reinvent the wheel. If you go into the library here, I don't know if anybody has, but under the library, there are 3,000 smart plans to pick from. So, and it also tells you how many agents are using that smart plan. So whether it's a KW smart plan, top rated smart plans, what's new, you can search by open house follow-up or Facebook follow-up and then customize it for your own needs. I don't create mine from scratch. I copy these and modify them. Okay. And you just have to click add smart plan to add it from the library to your own. Okay. Do not try to reinvent the wheel. These were created for you. I'm a script guy. I don't try to create things from scratch. Actually, I do create some things from scratch. My wife would tell you that, but at the same time, we started a couple businesses because I created stuff from scratch. But pretty much I take what's already there and I try to plus it to another level. So Jessica asked a question. If a buyer views 5 houses, will they get texts and emails from 5 different smart plans? Jessica, that all depends on if you put them on 5 smart plans. That would mean the buyer came to 5 of my open houses I was doing that day. The answer would be yes if you put them on 5 smart plans.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. But that's assuming I've got 5 listings, which I typically only do 2 open houses on a Sunday. For those of you guys who know me, my open houses are only 30 minutes long or 1 hour long. So, I'm kind of a nut with open houses. You have to be there in my 30-minute window or I don't let you in.
Steve, if I go back to my question on the sign-up sheet, what happens a lot on my open houses, they fill out the form and then it comes to me like 5 to 10 times in that bell at the top. Is there a way to avoid that? Because then you have to go through each one and dismiss them. And
I don't have that issue. So if they're filling out the form 5 or 10 times, tell me have you tested it to figure out why? I'm just curious.
I didn't personally test it, but it's almost like I have to catch them as they just filled it out.
Right.
Because they keep clicking and keeps sending the same contact information so many times.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen, Tony. So I would tell you, run a test, like pretend you're a buyer, come in with a fake name, run that test 3 or 4 times to figure out why.
Okay.
Because usually it happens in the leave a note area that they forgot to put something in there and the system won't let them go forward. And then they go back in and put something in and they press it twice. That's where I've seen it. But run a test and tell me why. I'm just curious.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I haven't seen that happen yet. We haven't had the duplicate problem yet.
Okay, good. And what about, where do you do the code? How do you do the code you're talking about where they scan? I just had them go to my website landing page.
Okay, so when you have a landing, you guys want me to open a landing page and show you? Right? You're gonna laugh at what I show you this real quick. So here's my open house sign-in sheet. This is the template we use. Can you guys see this? Yes. So it says, please sign in, right? They have to check off they're not a robot. What I like about this is it's formatted for a mobile device. So it gives them like a digital flyer of the property. It also gives them a description. It also gives them photos. It stays on their phone. It also gives them a map, and it also gives them a reminder to download my app. Now, how do you create the QR code is the number one question.
Yeah.
Ready, Tony? This is going to
Yeah.
blow you away. If you right click, it says create a QR code for this page.
That's great.
I know, I'm so technologically advanced. Like Google just added that feature about a month ago.
Stephen, where are you that you right click?
I'm anywhere on the page. I could right click. Doesn't matter. Tony, is that hysterical? Then they can create the QR code, and I put on an open house flyer outside. Please scan this, and then we'll let you in after you've registered.
That's perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Who knew that Google was going to make our life easier, right? Like,
Is there something you had to do in order to allow that? Did you have to refresh the page, delete your cache, or anything like that? Because I don't have that option for the QR code.
and you are you using Chrome?
Yes.
Update your browser to the most current version. Okay. If you guys don't know how to create one of these, go to answers.kw.com and type in create a landing page open house sheet or open house sign-in sheet on answers.kw.com. They'll show you how to do it right there. It's step-by-step instructions. Okay. How are your heads right now? Are you guys like blown away a little bit? Is your head like exploding?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. Because we get a lot of garbage at my level that command sucks and I can't use it. This is how I've been getting listings for the past 12 months. This is how I get buyers for the past 12 months. I remember my first buyer I did that home inspection analysis report for. And I remember after the home inspection, he said to me, so what does it cost for a new furnace? Right? Like the number one question a buyer says, like, what does it cost? I'm like,
Right.
you know, I'm not 100% sure, but I've been doing this long enough to know on this size house, it'll be about $10,000 to $12,000. He goes, well, that analysis thing you told me about will tell us, right? I said, yeah. And the thing came back and said $9,500. I'm like, yes, right there. Right. He's like, well, you didn't lie to me. I'm like, that's cool. So Andrew had a question. I do not have this specific smart plan in my command library. Yeah, you can find similar ones and modify the open house plan to fit your needs. Okay. Now, again, once that comes in, once those leads start coming in, the next thing you're going to want to do, share my screen real quick. You're going to want to put them on a smart plan, and you're going to add an auto trigger. And I'll show you what an auto trigger looks like. Okay, so if I have this open house follow-up smart plan and I want to edit the open house smart plan, click the pencil icon for the edit. Do you see up here where it says contact tag triggers? So we added a tag called 5 Jardine Open House. That's the trigger. When I tag the person that shows up in command with this tag, smart plan will fire. Okay. So now this will, when you're creating your smart plan or editing your smart plan, this will stay grayed out unless you have the tag you want to use already set up. So just remember, it's all generated by the tag. We're changing the way this is going to work to make it even easier, but right now it's based on the tag. Once I tag you with this, that's if Tony was in my database right now and Tony registered, I literally would tag him as this and the smart plan's going to fire. Okay.
Steve, does it tag them automatically when they sign in?
No,
Do you have it set
ta-
up?
right now you have to tag them.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question about, so the smart plan fires automatically if you fill out this contact tag triggers at the top.
When do you tag them? Like as they walk into your open house?
No, I tag them as they leave, Perry.
Got it.
Yeah, so I have command open on my iPhone on like a Chrome browser on my iPhone or my iPad. And as they leave, I'm tagging them. So they get a text from me as they're walking back to their car. Okay. And these are all the steps of the smart plan. You know, thank you for visiting. Here's my app to download my app link. Right. Thank you again for visiting. You can put smiley faces in if you want. This is my email that goes out at the same time, etc. Okay.
And just one other thing, Steve, the tag for the text that's set up, you set that up in the profile through Twilio? The
text is
SMS?
set up through Twilio, correct.
Twilio, okay.
Yep. But here's the thing, guys, don't try to create one from scratch. Literally, I would tell you, take one that's currently there and edit it. Claire, it's kind of funny. That question I get asked a lot, do they have to put a real email address in? You know what's funny? When you do a QR code scan and they open their phone, most phones, when they see a field of information to fill out, like these fields that they have to fill out at the top of the open house, most cell phones automatically fill out this information automatically for the consumer when the consumer's phone sees it. So it automatically puts their email and phone number in, and it puts their cell phone in automatically, and they can't scribble a weird number, right? Isn't that funny? 99% of the time they fill this out, press I'm not a robot, and register, and they're good to go. It's really kind of comical. Plus, with COVID right now, most people are giving me real information. You know, there's a human respect, at least I think, that's out there nowadays. Questions, comments, stories, jokes? Overwhelmed yet? Need more coffee? Need to run around the block? Need a power bar? Talk to me.
I think your use of command is amazing. I wish I could remember it all.
Well, here's the tip, okay? I never went to a class on how to use command. Okay, what I did make one commitment though. I'm going to ask you guys to make a commitment. Can you spend 10 minutes a day in the system?
Sure.
If you're willing to spend 10 minutes a day in the system, you can learn what I'd learned. Again, how did I learn it? Let's go back to the very first script. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leverage Keller Williams Command's artificial intelligence engine and Facebook partnership to create 7 different campaigns for you to find your buyer on Facebook. And you know what I said after I got that listing? I better go figure that out. So what was the first thing I taught myself? How to add a contact and how to create a campaign to generate leads on Facebook. I said, oh, okay, now I know how to do that. Now let me create 6 more campaigns. And now I know how to create 7 campaigns. I'm good. Next. So I said the script, didn't know what I was doing, got the listing, and then went back and figured it out. And my wife was like, what are you spending so much time on? I'm like, I just told the seller I'm going to do this thing. I better figure out how to do it.
You say that script one more time.
Yep. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you hire me, I'm going to leverage the Keller Williams Command artificial intelligence engine and Facebook partnership to create 7 different multi-channel marketing campaigns on Facebook to find buyers for your home. Is that okay with you? If you come up with the script and the value proposition for command, as Chris just said, you're forced to figure it out. Thank you, Chris. That was a great nugget. I appreciate that.
You got it, buddy. This is great
No
stuff.
sweat.
Steve. Thank you for being on.
No sweat. By the way, guys, if I don't know your market area, if I was in Philadelphia tomorrow, If you guys said, here, Stephen, call this expired, do you think I'd get the listing over the phone?
Yes.
Does it matter whether I know command or not? No, it's just I got a really good script. I was playing a game a couple months ago with Jason Abrams. You guys know who Jason is, right? Called Stump the Jason. It's kind of tough to stump the Jason, right? I gave him that script and he goes, dude, you got me. Like, I don't even know where to go with that one. I'm like, yes, I stumped the Jason. This is good. Yes. Yes.
So what are the 7 different channels that you?
It's not, it's
use?
7 campaigns with just different targets for each campaign. Like, I mean, Trudy, have you created a campaign yet in Command and have like piggybacked on Zillow and Trulia?
Yeah.
Like, you're basically stealing your leads back from Zillow for pennies on the dollar. Like, to me,
Zillow,
that's
Zillow,
crazy.
there's a conversation.
Well, you could steal your leads back from Zillow, right? For pennies. And Realtor.com, by the way, too.
How so? How so? How are you?
Well, when you go into Command and you go into a Facebook campaign and you go into expert targeting,
Okay.
one of the targets you can pick is people who visited Zillow. So imagine that you can run an ad
Right.
on Facebook. Your client, potential buyer, et cetera, went to Zillow to look at homes, and now they all of a sudden see your ad on Facebook when they went back to Facebook 5 minutes later.
Huh.
It puts Facebook knows when your buyer went to Zillow, and then they
Right.
leave Zillow and they go back to Facebook, and your ad shows up on your newsfeed. Like, that's why you choose the expert targets of Zillow and Realtor.com.
Do you have any other suggestions for because actually in my office they were saying the opposite, not to go to Zillow, because then we're going to appear, because of the way the IDX works now, with them being a broker.
It's got nothing to do with IDX.
Well, they were saying that because if we targeted them, then they're going to appear on our pages, essentially.
No, that's not true. That's not how it works.
Okay.
No, it's just a tracking cookie. When your consumer goes to Zillow, Trulia, other targets I use are single family home. I use mortgages. Mortgage is a category. So I use anyone who looks for a mortgage or a mortgage calculator. In my mind, if you typed in mortgage calculator and went looking, you're looking to buy a home. So I want anyone who looks for a mortgage calculator online, my ad should show up on their newsfeed.
Okay.
There's a choice in there called single family detached home.
Okay.
There's a choice there called luxury real estate. There's a choice there called first time home buyer.
I haven't done a lot with the ads, Steve, yet. I'm still.
Yeah, no, I get it. Let me go back to smart plans real quick. Any questions on smart plans that I can answer for you guys? Remember,
what is your favorite smart plan?
What's my favorite smart plan? The open house follow-up one and my Facebook lead one that I use are probably my 2 favorites. And also the other one would be straight out, like full disclosure. If you guys did this one thing, if you put all your past clients in Command, put them all in a monthly neighborhood nurture or biweekly neighborhood nurture, one of those 2, and put all your clients on a quarterly call plan to remind you to call them once a quarter, we know exponentially your business will go up 6%. Like, literally, if you just did those 2 things, if you said to me, Steven, I have 1,000 names in my database, right? 1,000 times 6% is 60 transactions. We can mathematically quantify that if you have 1,000 person database, you will do 60 units next year. If you do monthly neighborhood nurture and a quarterly call plan and call them once a quarter, and the script to call them is, hey, it's Steven. Yep, everything's fine. Who do you know that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate this month? If you just did those 2 things, everything else takes care of itself. And I know 99% of you won't. That's the honest truth, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be selling so many leads. I mean, how many homes did we sell in the US last year? 5.2 million. How many leads did we sell in this country for real estate agents? 125 million. What does that tell you? So my favorite smart plans are the ones that go to my past clients. Monthly neighborhood nurture, quarterly call plan. Because those are the things that work. Because when you call them and say, hey, it's Steven, just doing my quarterly check-in call. Who do you know who needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? That's all you got to say. Do an hour of those calls every day. You'll do 60 units a year. And the thing is, I know less than 1% of you on this call will do that. Sad but true. Sorry to be so direct, but I'm a New Yorker. Like, we don't care about feelings. We just go. Right, Trudy? You're from my area. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. What
How
questions
you
about smart
only
plans?
thought you were
Jenna?
going to learn about smart plans today?
I mean, like, we can go over smart plans if you want, but you know, it's an applet. Like, you know, click here, click here, click here. Drag. It's drag and drop, guys. So if you haven't, you know, created a smart plan from scratch, or you know, wanted to create a brand new one for yourself, you can literally just. It's a straightforward process, but again, don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, like that's the beauty of Command. Learn from the people who did it before you and copy it. So if I wanted to create this smart plan, add steps and then save a trigger. So the first thing is we're going to send a text message. And I just clicked like, thanks for visiting our website. And I'm going to pick an emoji, right? And then I'm going to put in a hyperlink. This is what they call merge fields. Merge fields are those fields that are consistent fields. Like, here's the link to download my app. Here's my contact information, right? So I'm going to put the contact first name, because we know what their first name is and we know what their last name is when they register on our website, right? And then I'm going to put my first name, and I'm going to put on the next line the app link, right? So there's my first step. I'm going to press save. Great, step one is done. Then I'm going to set a delay. I want to wait a few days for the smart plan to fire off. So I'm going to set a delay. And the next step is going to be, how many days do I want it to delay? 30. Nah, I want this to delay 4 days. Great. Awesome. Next step is to send an email. What's the subject going to be? And again, I can enter those merge fields again. Save. And then I just keep going through what I want the steps to be. Right now it tells me it's 5 days, 3 steps, 2 touches at the top. Okay. Just point and click. Click on what you want. I'm going to set my delay. And it's going to be 2 days. Save. And then I'm going to put a make a call reminder so that I call them. And how many days does that do, et cetera. Okay. Straightforward. How are we doing so far? Good. See, you got to stay for the end now because I hooked you in the beginning. So that's really cool. I'm happy about that. Guys, what questions? It's been an hour and 5 minutes, so I don't want you to like start getting like Zoom fatigue, because after 45 minutes, everyone starts zoning out and checking their text messages. So what final questions can I answer for you? Was this worth your time?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Can I give you a question, Steve?
Of course you can.
Okay. So in this market right now, and we know eventually we are going to shift at some point.
Yep.
Are you prepping the houses, or are you going right to market? Are you doing that pre-prep with the homeowners 2 weeks prior, or are you just saying let's just get it on because there's no houses?
I've never, so please don't take this the wrong way if you're a home stager.
It's not a home staging thing. It's just
I've
like,
never staged a home in my life, nor will I ever.
I'm talking about, well, what I do is I make sure they get a pre-inspection. I get the inspection so that if there's anything they can fix
No.
it, but not in this market. No, right?
I've never done that, nor will I ever.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
I won't, let me tell you on the legal side, if something comes up on that home inspection that they choose not to fix and it's an issue, I now have to disclose that.
I never thought of that.
And now all of a sudden you didn't disclose it, you're screwed.
Story of my life.
Right? So that's step number one. Number two, you can't control what the market's going to look like in 3 weeks. Who remembers where we were right about a year ago? Were we just getting used to lockdown? What were we doing 2 weeks prior? Walking around without a mask and having meetings in our market center? I'd be teaching this in the market center a year ago if this was not COVID. So you can't control interest rates. You can't control a terrorist attack. You can't control COVID. You can't control something that'll affect the market tomorrow. If you're in Pennsylvania, your market got shut down overnight all of a sudden, right? Get it on the market today, period. I've said this before, and again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I am not a home stager here, okay? I love people who say my added value on a listing is I'm a home stager. I'm like, okay, you're trying to be an interior designer? Like, just get the home sold. Put the damn home on the market. But while you're running around getting rooms repainted, I'm getting homes on and off the market. Last time I checked, that's what we're paid for, yes? So no, I'm not a stager.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yep. Elisa asked, is there a way to transfer your phone contacts and email contacts to Command? If you're using an iPhone, there's a free service with Keller Williams is partnered with called PieSync. PieSync will take your contacts from your iPhone and transfer them to Command and keep them in sync. So if you make a change in one, it'll make a change in the other.
We also have with our Keller Williams Philadelphia Market Center, if you guys have questions, let Andrew know. We utilize Scott Leroy Marketing.
Yeah.
And he will also help you transfer all your contacts into Command.
Yeah, Scott's great. We use him in our market center too. Guys, last but not least, I'll leave you with this. I'll put this in the chat. I know I mentioned this earlier. I'm running a webinar tomorrow on a free lead generation system I stumbled upon. You're welcome to attend tomorrow. It's at 3 o'clock, and I'll put the link in the chat. I was kind of surprised that no one's done this before. And I looked at this and I said, I really can't believe no one has done this as a real estate agent before. Like, I was literally shaking my head. And if you want to own a market, attend my webinar tomorrow, and you'll be happy to, share what I stumbled upon. I was just like shaking my head going, this can't be that simple. And you know how like it's so simple, it's right in front of you, but you look past it? Kind of like how we started our class today. No, that webinar tomorrow is for anyone. It's a national call tomorrow. Like, it's like as simple as we look past all the features of Command because we're so mad it's not working right, versus the number one thing we're taught at Keller Williams is the script. So let's go back and do the script like I taught you that gets you a listing, and then figure out how to do that in Command.
What time is that at?
3 o'clock tomorrow.
Eastern Standard?
Eastern Standard. What else, guys? Questions,
Steve.
comments, stories, jokes, anecdotes?
Steve, I got a question.
Yeah.
Can you take us to the second step? You created the ad and you're going to do the targeting. Can you take us to that, do that in Command and those keywords that you use and how you do that?
Sure. If you've never done it before, sure, no problem.
I have, but I'd like to see how I'd like to refine it with you've done. So
Sure. Campaigns. And I apologize. I've been told by my tech person that I need a faster Mac, but until they come out with the new Mac desktops, I'm not going to spend any money on my new Mac. So Zoom doesn't like my computer that much. It's all good. Okay, I'm going to go into my paid ads. I apologize. Okay, so you can just see down here, by the way, like some of my ads, you know, $50, 20 leads, $50, 53 leads, $75, 67 leads. By the way, from these 2 campaigns alone, we closed 8 units. So that was good for me. I was happy with that. You know, 18 leads, etc. So when you're in here, I'm just going to go in and like edit the campaign just for time's sake. So when you're in the Facebook ad, you've got your ad set up. You see here where it says channel options, Facebook ad configure.
Mhm.
Down here it says channel options. So Tony, I'm going to click configure. I always use the Facebook lead generation form. The reason why is when they click your ad, it pops up with a box that has their contact info already filled out. Their name, their phone number, email are there. They just have to press OK one more time. Right? Versus if they use the Setter landing page, they have to retype everything, and that's where we typically lose the lead. Okay.
Mhm.
I link them back to my web page, and then you see here where it says target a custom audience. So I'm targeting a
Yeah.
custom audience, and that's when you make sure you toggle this custom settings on over here on the right. And then this is where I get into the export targeting. Now, again, I run some ads with no targeting. I let the algorithm do the work for me. And I run other ads, the same ad with targeting. I typically get the same results. So it just depends on what you want to do. But here's where I add the interests. And I literally pick Zillow, Realtor.com. By the way, don't pick Premier Agent because you're going to show up on other realtors' Facebook feeds. I don't care about the other realtors, right? People in the financial services world, I want to see this ad because they're going to be the most likely buyers of this home. And then I just click add interests, and there's 363 categories, by the way. I counted them in my spare time one day just to see what it was like. So I could do single family homes, right? And I can do anything. Let's wait for the system. I apologize, it's taking so long. I could type in, you know, I said mortgages before. Like in my mind, if you're shopping for a mortgage, you're looking for a house, right? So people who did mortgage loans or look for a mortgage calculator. So there we go. And then once I press save Facebook ad, we're off and running.
Somebody asked, have you found certain interests get more clicks?
So I usually do, excuse me, a generic ad with the Zillows, Realtor.coms, mortgage loans, single family detached home. And then the next ad I run, I'll duplicate the ad. I will bring a set of what do people in this town do for a living? Are they dentists? Are they doctors? Are they lawyers? Are they in the financial services world or the digital marketing space? Whatever they do for a living, I'll run an ad based on like the financial services people. I'll run an ad based for doctors. I'll run an ad people for research scientists. So I just segment it up by what people do for a living in the town. Okay.
Do you have a source for that?
No, I just, look at the Census Bureau and I look around the town and see what people do and where they work based on
Okay.
my knowledge of the town.
Steve, if you scroll up, do you also check off the box for your Facebook audience, like your target my database as
No,
well?
I
or you
never
don't
do
use
both.
that?
You're Tony, you're cutting your money and segmenting your audience.
Okay.
See, Facebook's algorithm is going to look for the path of least resistance to give you the most amount of leads. If I'm targeting my audience, and if I'm targeting a custom audience, that's new leads. If I'm targeting my database, that's going back to my past clients. Why would I market the same way to the same group? My past clients know who I am, right?
My
So-
thought process was only just staying in front of them from a real estate perspective. That
Yeah,
was
but
it.
then run a
you know?
separate campaign for that.
Gotcha.
Totally separate campaign targeting your database. Okay.
Okay.
What else, guys?
Steve,
Anything?
is your Facebook lead generation ad in or smart plan in the smart plan library?
No, I took Nick Baldwin's actually and modified it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't take other, that I just modified someone else's. I like, again, ask me to draw the Mona Lisa, it's gonna look really bad, but I can trace her. So, I can trace her. Like, you can put tracing paper and, I can do that, but ask me to create it, that's kind of ugly. Yeah.
And for those of you guys interested, tomorrow at 10 a.m., we actually have Nick Baldwin as part of our tech week. So
Cool.
10 a.m., he will be going over designs and campaigns.
Cool.
And I can drop that in our chat box for you guys.
Perfect. Yeah, I took Nick Baldwin's. So, guys, what else? Anything else? Was this worth your time? Yes.
1,000,000%.
I wish we could do this in person. But at that point, I had a standard to reach up to because Andrew pumped me up. He was like, you better be good from our initial phone call. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I will be, maybe not. But thank you guys for your time. Have a great day. Enjoy the nice weather. Wear a mask, be smart, get your injection. Or as we say in my house, go
Done.
slow and don't be stupid. All right.
Done.